Record it. We have a ton of orders down here that want to get filled and they're buyers. And we're at the last couple seconds of the 5 minute candle. We have obviously a flat bottom with this candle, but I'm getting a strong indication that we're going to be pushing back down here to fill these buy orders. So this is just really cool thing that you can use. It's called Bookmap. And I use it on the 5 minute candle, as you can see right here. So this is what I like to have up on my other computer, but I'm having it up here today so you guys are able to see exactly what I'm looking for when I'm doing the 5 minute candle hack. Obviously, this candle fully retracted. Can you see Bookmap and can you see TradingView? Hopefully you can. Good morning. So you can see Bookmap over here. Perfect. So this is where you look at order flow. So these hot zones here are when this is the middle area. So if the hot zone is up here, this is sellers that want to be filled. And if the hot zone is down here, this is buyers that want to be filled. So the higher the number, obviously, the stronger this area is, which means we are going down to 23,730, which would be right down here, close to take profit 2. That's where a bunch of buyers want to be filled. So we're expecting a 5 minute candle hack to come about here. We just started another 5 minute candle. And we're expecting a push down here to fill this area down here for all the buyers. Remember, you would be scalping this. So I was doing the math this morning with ChatGPT because somebody said to me on Instagram, they were like, you can't scalp 10 to 20 ticks in a 5 minute candle. Yes, you can. I don't know who taught them that, but you can. And I was calculating the math, like maybe I said it wrong. I did not say it wrong. You can scalp 10 to 20 ticks in a 5 minute candle. The average 5 minute candle during the New York session is apparently anywhere from 20 ticks or yeah, in the New York session, 20 ticks to about 120 ticks, depending on the volume. So you can get 10 ticks out of that, 20 ticks out of that, and come out with $100, $200 using the 5 minute candle hack. So I am looking for this little area to get filled down here, which would be this area, the 730. So I'm not going to say the first two numbers, by the way. I'm just going to say 730 area. So this is 730. I'm not talking about the time. I'm talking about the numbers over here. So I'm going to keep Bookmap pulled up for you guys. You can't see the chats over on the side here, can you? You just see Bookmap because right over here I have chats and I want to make sure you can't see it so it's not blocking everything. No, we can't. Okay. Just want to make sure everything is there. So we're doing a push up, obviously, before market opens, like we usually do. But I'm expecting this area to get filled down here. This is a pretty hot zone. Yeah, so if you go to Bookmap and you bookmap.com or something like that, it will show you where you can download it for Mac or Windows. And you would have to get the global plan. So the global plan is, I think, $19 a month. And then I bought the data, which is something I think it comes out to all under 50 something dollars a month, kind of like TradingView. It's, for me, it's a write-off. As day traders, we get to write off expenses like that. That's what my accountant told me. Obviously, consult with your accountant. But with that, I bought Bookmap because I found Bookmap to be extremely helpful when knowing where the orders are in the market. So of course we do have a lot of buyers coming about here. And I'm looking for a continuation back down to tap into this area down here. Oh, here comes the sellers, obviously pushing back in. That zone is still down there, by the way. For those that are wondering, it didn't disappear. It's just it expanded because more buyers and sellers are coming into the market. So as you can see, I still think we're going to push down to that 730 area. We're just getting the sellers building up here in the midst of that 5-minute candle in the middle of it. So I don't use any indicators on Top Step. No indicators on Top Step. I see a lot of selling pressure coming about. As you can see up here, what you would be looking for is these numbers to be much larger than these numbers for the sellers to come in. And we still have that hot zone down here. We also have a hot zone up here for a lot of sellers. Not as much as this one, but you're looking for a pushback down. Yes, this counts as a signal that you could get in on again if the market pushes back down. Remember, we're scalping, so 81% of coming down here. We also have our highs and lows for the day, so in 30 seconds, we can definitely get this. Wow, it's been very ugly, hasn't it? Let's go. We have lows here, which is multiple lows for different areas. We have a high here. And then we have another high here. And I'm just going to mark out this, because I feel like that's a pretty solid zone too. So let's go back to our 5-minute chart. We have our low and our high. It's not really that big, not like it usually is. We have sellers building up here at 775, which would be here. at this little reversal area. So is everyone understanding what I'm looking at here? The red zones are what you're going to want to be looking for. Those are where it's pretty hot for the buyers and the sellers to be sitting. So now how I talk about the 5-minute candle hack and you're wondering when it's going to come about, it's usually coming about in that area. Look, it wants to go down and fill these people most likely. So be careful. We got those buyers that want to be filled down here. We got sellers that want to be filled. I wouldn't be surprised if we were to fill these sellers and then come back down here and then come back. I'm using the global plan on Bookmap. So we got 243 buyers, 109 sellers. We're going to see if these buyers blow through it. So these big green circles are where a lot of the traders are, and they're obviously pushing down here. So let this candle play out. But you can kind of see how it reacts to different areas. And the sellers seem to be absorbing all of that. So they're absorbing that, which means there's going to be a stronger push down. We hit take profit 1 and take profit 2. Where are we heading next? Who knows? We got a lot of buyers pulling up here. Look at that. Yes, you're right. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we pushed up closer to where those sellers wanted to be filled, and then we came back down and touched that area. And that's exactly what we did. And the sellers completely absorbed those buyers there. So this is how we usually see like pullbacks that happen. And we pull back and continue back down. You could see those sellers coming in. And that's where you see those specific areas. And you always wonder why like it pulls back and continues back down. It pulls back to fill and then continue back down again. Yeah, you saw it. So basically, this Bookmap is very helpful to let you know where all the orders are sitting because a lot of people are looking at this and they're like, well, why did it pull back to that area? Why did it reverse like the 5 minute candle hack I talk about? Well, it reversed because of orders sitting in certain areas, and you can see the orders building up in those areas. So as you can see, we probably will pull back to this area or this area here and then push back down again. How do you close a trail? I would just scalp little areas. So what I do is when I get $100 in profit, I pull it to break even and then I keep trailing from there. That's basically what I do. What area do we have down here? Any major zones? Yeah, we did. Congratulations. That's awesome. $540. You're welcome. It's okay. You made it. I think being a trader is always some sort of wild roller coaster. And you have quite the trend line. Trend line break situation. Tap back down into this area once more. Where's my pivot point? Look at that. I had a feeling that pivot point was right there. Did not trigger it. Up $630 across 4 accounts. Yep. I don't know when news is today. Somebody just said there's a lot of news today, is there? We're watching this 5-minute candle pull back here. The news passed. So if you're in, just scalp your way down. And I'm up 650 on that little scalp there. So there you go. Little 5-minute candle hack reversal as we saw here. That 5-minute candle completely retracted. Nice to see. And we caught the pullback of that. So that's basically what I do. You're welcome. $890 profit. Congratulations. Up $422. Congratulations. I knew we were going to tap back down into these lows again. That's usually what we do. We might actually push down to this pivot point, but at least these lows was, to me, a very safe area to get out. So we are just scalping our way through this. We're not holding on to these big long trades. So we're making money today. $667, all from using a 5-minute candle hack. That's pretty awesome. $867. Tell me you made money on that. $480. That's awesome. Well, that's basically what I do. Yes, my nitro is currently in profit. Some of you guys are asking me about nitro. It is currently in profit right now on 2 trades. Awesome day. Awesome day. So as you can see, why did Bookmap just disappear like that? So as you can see, we had the push back down, like I said we would have in that 5-minute right here, because those buyers wanted to be filled, and obviously those sellers wanted to absorb those buyers. It's not a matter whether we reject off of there, but that's a good target to maybe get out, a target to trail, or a target to just wait and see and have your trailing stop in profit. So you're secure either way. So if it continues down like it did, you would have profited more. But that was a big zone that I knew they were going to touch. And even though it pushed up, you could have caught this potentially, even though it was market open and we don't usually do that. You could have gotten the pullback and break to the continuation to the downside. So it's just a good example. Like I said, we're probably going to touch down to that pivot point. Looks like that's where we're heading. Yeah, it's hard to hold longer when there's no wick made on the other side, which is totally understandable. We have a bunch of sellers built up here. We most likely will pull back to this area. Thank you. Congratulations. Did you make money? I see that you're congratulating everyone else. Did you trade with us today? I think you're new here. Or did you just come in under a different name this time? Oh, congratulations. Welcome. So happy to have you here. Here we are, wick pushing up here. Probably going to have those sellers. We're obviously tapping into those to maybe tap back down into this pivot point again. Maybe. Not really a decent wick left on the other side of that. However, we had this one that didn't do much of a wick. So, but I see some sellers building up here, some pressure. And there you go. Nice little example of what I talk about. So we had this trade this morning. I don't know if anyone caught that. I know that we were just sitting there looking at it mostly because I was showing you an example on Bookmap. But then we had this trade that I called out, which was obviously on the 1 minute chart. Turned out to be beautiful. They'll pull back continuation action to tap into those lows. We might actually reverse and head back up here. We got a lot of buyers pushing. So we left that wick on the other side to equal those lows basically. We did tap into that pivot point almost. Actually, I think we did no, we didn't. Not on the 1 minute or the 5 minute. $1,228 today. I'm going to stop here. I had a loss yesterday. It's okay. You came back stronger today. So that's awesome. Finally got 150K accounts. Give me some breathing room. Yeah, that's what I need to do with my next Top Step accounts. I like breathing room. Oh, Top Step did respond back to me yesterday. They said that they passed my accounts as a courtesy. So they didn't tell me I was right, and they didn't admit that they were wrong. They just did it as a courtesy to be nice. I thought that was kind of screwed up because, like, really? That wasn't a courtesy. That was your dashboard had a glitch. Apologize for it. That was not my fault. And we did it as a courtesy. I'm like, okay. Okay, Top Step. And blah, blah, blah. That's immediately. I was like, all right, good night. Good night. Don't want to hear from you. I didn't even respond. And here we are, like I said, probably push back up. Where will we go? Well, what are we looking at? I don't know who's calling me from Jacksonville, but you call me every single morning at 10 o'clock. Well, we hit take profit 1 on the 1 hour for that sell. So, yes, scalping does work better when there's news. I definitely agree. Know a lot of people say not to trade during news, but scalping does work really good when there's news. As long as it's news that doesn't consolidate the market. Which prop firms do I use? I just bought Funded Ticks. So Funded Ticks is running a promo right now where if you get their Pro Plus accounts and you cap yourself at $1,000 payout, which you can have 6 accounts with Funded Ticks. You cap yourself at 1,000. a week in payouts. It's every 5 days. You get no activation fee and you get a prop firm account for $50. And you have to use their like 35% off code at the top. And no activation fee, so all in $50. And you can get a funded Tix account. It's a promo that they're running right now. I got 6 of them yesterday. And I do not have a link. Hold on. Let me pull it up. I'll put it in chat. Make sure you all are in the Telegram chat because that's where I will drop everything. I'll also post it inside the WAP as well. But Funded Ticks is running a pretty cool. If you use the code FT35, FT35, you can have up to 6 live accounts with them. And it's for the 50K accounts. They do offer instant funding, but it's pretty expensive in my opinion, but I guess you could use the promo code on it. But they have a Pro Plus account where it is for a 50K, $2,500 profit target, $2,000 stop, and that's end of day loss. And then only in the evaluation phase, they have a 40% consistency rule. You have to pass it within 3 days. So you cannot make more than 40% of your profits. And then you're maxed out at 4 contracts. And you can pick your weekly withdrawal cap. So it's either 5,000 or 1,000. The code is FT35. FT35. So I got 6 of those yesterday, all in $50 per account. And when I pass the challenge, then obviously I go right into live and I don't have to pay an activation fee. So I like that. It's on Tradeovate and it's also on Ninja Trader. Yeah, I found that to be really cool, especially for those that are like beginners want to get into it and they only want to spend $50. Like you can get one account. Apex is great too. I do have an Apex code. It's FTA and you can get 80% off right now. So FTA, Firestorm Trading Academy. That's what I made it. So we have those buyers kind of pushing up here. We do have a lot of sellers that are either going to get absorbed or they might actually sit around here only because it is 10 o'clock. So there's those sellers building up. Funding ticks. It's called funding ticks. This fruit fly found me again for the 2nd day in a row. Get out of here. My husband needs to keep his garage door shut. He's annoying. At this point, might as well give him a name. It's 10 a.m. Gonna have a strong push down. That's a lot of sellers starting to build up in that area. What do we got going on down here? Well, we got a little zone down here. 10 a.m. is here. Individual reward cap? I don't know. All I know is, are you talking about the one? I just do the Pro Plus. Can you trail? What do you mean? Can I trail? You see that 5 minute candle fighting. Absorbed all those sellers pretty quick. Yes. If you go inside of the course, in the course will be a link for the Telegram group. I'll repost it again. Yeah, this candle wants to stay around that pivot point. I prefer Ninja Trader. I like Ninja Trader a lot. I just have to teach it. Those buyers really want to push it up. You have two questions. Did I read that correctly? You're welcome. I don't know if it runs on Mac. I don't think it does. I don't think so. I never looked. I always just used it on my laptop, but I would love to be able to set it up on my computer here, and you guys will be able to see it. There's a web version? Does it actually perform like Ninja Trader though? Hmm. Yeah, I had parallels. My parallels absolutely sucks. I've tried so hard to get it to work right. It does not. And VPS. Yeah, VPS would work. I don't know if I can live stream with that though. We got the sellers kind of pushing down on that area there. So, question, does everyone like having Bookmap up or no? Yes. We got one yes. We got two. Yes. Okay. Yes, I am going to do a video on that so we can all get everyone to understand Bookmap better. Like over here, I don't think I'll be able to see. Well, I kind of can see. That's all I can do. Yeah, I actually can do that. You're welcome. Or I would just make this smaller. But would that make it too small for everybody if I went here? Yeah, I have multiple screens, but I can only have so much room to fit everything on. So I have to make sure you can see Tradeovate, or not Tradeovate, oh my goodness, Trading View. And then you could also see Bookmap. And then I also have to see your chats. And then obviously I need the video of me up for my Instagram. And so you can talk to me about it. What did Nitro do? Nitro's still in a trade. Well, we touched that area up there, as you can see, as close as we got, and we pushed right back down. New 5 minute candle. Yeah, we push up here. Yeah, having multiple screens is honestly very important. I know it might cost in just the screen attachment, I don't know, like $500 I spent, but it's worth it. Pushing back up for that 5-minute candle. You said having multiple screens was really a game changer for me. If you go to Best Buy in the US, you can get 18-month interest-free payment. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I honestly don't know the last time I stepped foot into a Best Buy. Know what business I want to know how it's still running is Staples and what is it called? Office Depot. I don't ever see anybody in there. Never anybody in the parking lots. Never anybody in there. I walked in there. The lights were flickering the other day, and it looked like the zombie apocalypse was about to happen. That's how like absolutely silent, creepy, and weird it was. And that was in Staples. Everything looked so empty. It was honestly really creepy. Have a nice day. Congratulations on your wins. They have corporate accounts. My job goes through them. Oh, so basically they're just sitting there because they're a write-off and all the corporate stuff is done online and deliveries. They're just one big write-off just sitting there. That makes sense. Pushing down midway through that candle. Holy smokes. What challenged the Pro Plus? No, student is, when you do this Pro Plus, it says student is the evaluation stage. Master is when you pass. No activation fee. Pushing back down again. Leaving the wick on the other side of that 10 a.m. candle. You're welcome. So basically, that is it today. We had a break here. I didn't call out a signal because I already called out my signal this morning. But if you took that break, I kind of figured we would leave a wick on the other side of that 10 a.m. candle here because we didn't leave much of a wick. And that's exactly what we're doing. We got a bunch of buyers here just waiting to get filled. It's either they're gonna get filled or they're gonna get completely absorbed and it's gonna continue down. But I have a feeling they're gonna get filled. Oh, absorbed instead. Tapped into the previous day low. So we had this daily low of today. This is yesterday's. there you go. So as you can see, those sharp movements that you see that happened, we had a bunch of buyers sitting there. And to absorb it, they put a massive amount of pressure through and just completely sweep that out. So here it looks like, wow, there's just a spike out of nowhere. But when you look over here on Bookmap, you will see that we had a ton of buyers here and it wanted to completely absorb those buyers and fill those orders and then obviously continue down. Now, of course, on depends on the occasion and how many orders are sitting there. There could be times where it will completely reverse from those and the buyers will come in. So you just make sure you're always trailing in those areas when you run up on those. But we did tap into that pivot point and we tapped into the low of yesterday. Yes, this is the order. I'm pretty sure it's order book. Yeah. And then this is the session range volume profile, which I cannot see. So I'm not even looking at that because the chat is in the way. So I'm only seeing this. So there's a little 5-minute candle hack there. We pushed up. We had the sellers that came in, filled those orders back here, and pushed back down. A minute and 30 seconds into that candle, pushed up to make a wick, came back down here. And like I said, when you involve Bookmap in it, it makes it easier to look at. But when I trade on Pocket Option, we have no order flow. We don't have Bookmap. We don't have any of that. So I had to dissect when their algorithm would have a pullback and it was midway through the 5-minute candle. And then when I read into their terms and conditions, their algorithm is meant to look like the actual market. So then I thought, if that's what you do, then the actual market should do the same thing. So then I started watching NASDAQ to see if it did the same exact move because Pocket Option says that their algorithm is made to look like the actual markets. And that is what I found with the 5-minute candle is that it will do that pullback in the middle. And then I learned to scalp for 30 seconds on Pocket Option, which obviously 30 seconds to a minute would be 10 to 20 ticks on a 5-minute candle using futures. Did we break through yesterday's low? I thought we broke through. Because I have right here. This was the low of today. This is, oh yeah, that's actually a low a few days ago. You are right. So low of yesterday and today was, and we're what? August 11th. Will I be live streaming on my birthday? Yes. If it's on, I think if it's on the Weekdays. No, it's on Sunday. I will not be live streaming. No live streams for me. Market's not even doing anything. That's very interesting because if they can program an algo to mimic the markets, it means that you should be able to discern a pattern. And you're right about that. Yeah. So well, that's immediately what I looked at. I was like, okay, the market is just an algorithm at this point. And honestly, if you look at this, a lot of this looks like a little grid pattern going on, like how we would run Scalper V5 and the whole grid set up to buy and sell. Well, this would make sense to that, to constantly kind of range around within each candle. And if you can break down the timing of that 5 minute candle, then you're breaking down timing with order flow, and then you could start to see the top and bottom of the range, which is even more exciting. Like this one, you see that we're going to push back up here, most likely to the 662 to grab those sellers there. We're just making a wick on this side. 662. Timing is key. And I know a lot of people said on Instagram and they reached out to me on Telegram. I don't even know how you found me on Telegram and on what. And they said, well, you just need to be looking at order flow. The timing is stupid. That's just something you learned. And I think the timing is extremely important because you know there's going to be a big push in the first 2 minute or first minute and a half. And then there's going to be a big push in the other direction. And then you see exactly where the orders build up in those areas. Like now we're a minute and 30 seconds into this. And you could see the buyers pulling up here. And could we continue pushing down? Of course, we can absorb that area, but there's going to be a pullback very soon here of some sort. Especially since we have a break of structure on the 1 minute, and you know there's always some sort of pullback when there's a break of structure in the key. Oh my goodness, in the key. I saw your comment in the time of the 1 minute chart. So like I said, make a wick on one side in that 1 minute candle, continue back down. Could end in a doji to push back up again and come back down again. Or we just zip back down here the last 30 seconds. I find timing to be extremely important when you're scalping. Very, very important. Here comes those sellers wanting to absorb this here. And see the bubble getting bigger. More aggressive sellers are coming in and push us back down. Danielle, I will check when I get off the live stream here. August 19th. That's close to me. My son, my fifth son, is born August 29th. I swore I was gonna have him on my birthday. But instead, the day we were moving out of our house, as I went to go get in the car to leave, my water broke and he decided he wanted to come about. I'm like, oh, now's the time. The moment we have the moving truck packed up, we have everything packed up to get out of here, you just decide to come about. Mine is August 24th, yes. Those buyers coming in. Aggressive buying pressure to push it back up. And as you can see, we have a little reversal. So it's really cool how you can look at Bookmap and you can scalp here using the timing of the candles and then using momentum down here to help you. And then on top of that, using the 5-minute candle timing. So you have the 1-minute candle timing that I told you, the 5-minute candle timing, which we just started a 5-minute candle 30 seconds ago. And then the reversals or the pullback continuation. I remember an old mentor used to do what he called a party trick. He would ask somebody to tell him whether to buy or sell, and he would enter a buy or sell at a particular time in the 5-minute candle. Can't remember seeing him lose a trade now that I think about it. He had a similar software that looks very similar to Bookmap. There's Go Charting. I think that's another one that looks similar to Bookmap. But that's kind of funny. And here we are going to make the wick on the other side of that 5-minute candle. Push back down. We're a minute and 30 seconds in. I always tell you this when we're like a minute and 30 seconds in. We push back down. The aggressive sellers are coming through. And probably tap back down into this area. But we tap back up here, fill those cells, and come back down to this area. And there's the 5-minute candle hack. And there it goes with the 1-minute chart right next to me, showing you the pullback continuation of the break of candle structure. Like I said. And here we are. An 84% strong sell from Firestorm Momentum. And we're still in our 1 hour strong sell. Actually, we just hit take profit 2. So we just hit take profit 2 in this signal that came from FX 3.0, 59% of hitting take profit 2, 82% of hitting take profit 1. We hit that earlier. Then we obviously hit take profit 2 today. So find a signal on a higher time frame, come back down to a 1-minute chart or a 5-minute chart. Honestly, if you have the 1-minute chart pulled up here and the 5-minute chart pulled up here in Bookmap, you can see that 1-minute candle or that 5-minute candle. You can see where the trend is. We're looking for more sells than buys, of course. And there you go. So I'm going to get off of here. I'm done for the day. I will see you all tomorrow. And hopefully this helped explain Bookmap a little bit more. Yes, I will show Bookmap tomorrow too. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'll see you all tomorrow.